Okay, maybe my last video was not proof enough for people, so here's another one that I'll put out to see if I can get some people's attention. What you're looking at is a mirror image. It's a mirror of the water. Water mirror. It's always a mirror in palm spots. Well, what about those rough edges? Well, at a certain angle, your angular resolution, the water becomes a mirror. It starts mirroring the sky. That's why a lot of the boats look like they're floating in the sky when they get past that visible water line. It's just a visible water line. You can look at a lot of my videos and tell that that is exactly what you're seeing. Now watch this boat right here. You can see its wake that it's pushing out. Why? Because its wake is high enough up to where my camera is resolving it. So this boat is on the water. It's on the water. It's obvious it's on the water, but people don't look at it like that. They want to call it a mirage. This is not a mirage. This is a boat on the water, but it's above that visible water line. You see the visible water where it's rippling, but because of my angular resolution, you cannot resolve that as water. So it starts to become this mirror. Now, here's a boat. I think I was supposed to cut this little part out, but oh well, I'll let it stay. But this is where I film from. I'm at Bayport, and I'm standing up on a little seawall. My tripod is 5 feet up, and the water is probably a couple of feet down from me, so I'm probably 7.5, 8 feet off the water. Okay, it's just to give you an idea. Anybody can go there and look at these areas and see where I'm filming from. Or, well heck, I start getting people, I try to set another camera up to film myself. I can take measurements and all, but I don't do this to prove it to people. I did this to prove it to myself. So I start following this boat, right? And I have to ask people, when does it turn into a mirage? So I speed it up. Hurry up, boat. Put it in fast forward. And I'm not using any transitions in between some of these areas here. I don't want to. I want to just go right into the fast forward. Now this boat, when does it become a mirage? When does it become a mirage? Now? Because he's up off the water plane, the visible water plane, but you can still see his wake rolling, right? All right. Now, what I did right here was I slowed it down. See this boat coming? Now watch the boat that I'm following. Watch him hit his wake. You don't see his wake, but watch, here it comes. Boom, 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 boom. You don't see that wake in the water. Why? Because you don't see waves in that water when it's in the mirror. It's like a roly-poly mirror. And that roly-poly mirror distorts things. Okay? Now, I got it again. Here comes another big boat. Watch this boat. Watch the wake. Watch him bounce. Watch him hit this wake, though. He's going to hit it hard because it's a bigger boat, bigger wake. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, here comes another little boat. Okay, it ain't as big of a wake, and he's going to hit it too. Watch right here. Bam, bam, bam. All right, you don't see this water. You don't see the waves when it's in this angle. Okay, I sped it back up. All right, and you don't see that water. Now, this is the other thing I want to show you. Oh, excuse me. Just got done eating dinner, so I'm full, and I really want to get this video out tonight. So I'm speeding parts of this footage up, but this particular day I had some really good footage. Even that tree that's in the water there, it mirrors itself. Look at that boat way out there. It's mirroring itself. Now, this is a point that I want to make. Now, is this boat turned into a mirage yet? Or is he still on the water? Look, you can still see some of the splashing when he hits the water. You know, you can see the water splashing out from the sides of the boat. All right. Now, what I did was I slowed it down here because this boat is going away from me. But watch what happens when he turns and I get a side view of that boat. All right, and I'm going to explain why you see it this way. Again, remember, you cannot see the wave or the wake. You cannot really see the water. So you don't see the wake that this boat is producing. And this boat is producing one heck of a wake. Okay? So take that into consideration. Put that in your mind. Now he's turned. Now he's kind of like on a 45-degree angle from me. And he's still kind of going away from me a little bit. But watch now as he gets a little farther away and he starts turning. Now watch what happens with this boat. This boat gets kind of like really funky looking. Why? Because it's his wake. The wake, the water that you're not seeing is what's starting to block out this boat. Okay? Nobody actually sees it. Why? Because that mirroring water is invisible. It's like invisible water, but it blocks things out. It's like a mirroring, distorted mirror that distorts objects in the item or whatever it is. It could even be a person. It will distort them. And that's because it's a bent mirror. It's a wavy mirror. And you can find certain things that can prove this, and I have found something that will work out really, really well to show this. Okay. I hate keep saying okay, but I really, really want people to pay attention to detail. Now look at that boat now. I mean, it's like really, you can't even see the motor anymore. Just the very tip top of the motor, and the bow of the boat is almost under, and half of it looks under. It's not over the other side of the curve. Okay? It's definitely not over the other side of the curve. This is a boat just getting distorted by a curved mirror. That water is mirroring, and because it's mirroring, it's wavy. Because water is wavy, it distorts the object, which usually it is the atmosphere that's giving you the distortion of the boat to begin with, but then you have the distortion of the mirror. Okay, you got atmospheric conditions, you've got the way the light hits the water, and what's funny is at the end of this day, well, actually within 15-20 minutes or 30 minutes or so, because the video following this portion is the same day, just a different video, and it's going to come up right here. Now you see how that boat looks now. That's still a boat, and he's still on the water. This is he's smaller, he's distorted, and it's also being hid by the mirroring, the curved mirror. Alright, now that's going to end that portion of this video. And then I'm going to go right into another video. This video of this bird. Watch this bird. Look how it disappears into its own reflection. You know, that's what I seen a lot of, is stuff disappearing into its own reflection as it gets farther and farther from you. I mean, even this bird here flying across, you kind of see it get low. You see its reflection in the water. So you know that that is a mirror out there. It's a mirroring image of that bird underneath that bird. The bird is not double bird flying there, or he's not flying united with another bird. That's one bird, and he's kind of almost distorted himself right into his own reflection, just like the sun does. Now, watch this. I caught these two guys out here, and I said, oh, this is kind of funky looking. What is this? I mean, even when I was looking through my little tiny viewfinder, I'm looking at it saying, what in the world am I looking at? And I couldn't figure it out for a little bit until I stayed on them. I wanted to stay on them. I almost followed that other boat there, but I'm glad I didn't. Because look, watch, watch these two guys. They're on these little jet skis. These little stand-up jet skis with handles, and they get up on them. Whoa! All right, they're not a mirage, and they're not miraculously being popped up from the damn curve somewhere. There's no magical force out there. It's a mirroring, distorted mirror is what it is. It's a distorted mirror because you cannot see the waves in it. And you can even see these guys when they hit some of them little waves, or the front end's bouncing up and down. You don't see that. It looks like a smooth mirror out there, but it's not. It's a bouncy, wavy mirror. And this is what distorts things off in the distance. It also can have a lot to do with making things look bigger and smaller, believe it or not, and I'll prove that at the end of this video. Paying attention to detail is one of the things that I found by reviewing, and then reviewing, and then reviewing the same video over and over again. I've actually think that I've got this figured out with this mirroring thing, because it makes a lot more sense that it's a mirror, and this mirroring horizon is what is confusing a lot of us flat earthers. We're not paying attention to the detail when we're looking at this. Even the sky is being mirrored, and you can see it in a lot of my videos, a lot of my observational videos. When I do the sunset, you will see the mirroring effect occur. Okay? Now, I mean, you can see that this boat is quite a ways out there. Now, I don't follow this boat quite all the way in, but I wanted to follow it because you can see how it kind of looks like it's cut off, how he's supposedly over the curve. This is what the globe people think, and this is because they were taught this. And I can't blame them, because, back when I was a globe head myself and thought we lived on this spinning freaking ball, I would have believed that this was a mirage, because I was taught that this mirage was this weird object, and it was caused by the water and the refraction or whatever, and it's not real. This is kind of not real. It's kind of being pulled up from the horizon some miraculous way of refraction, saying that refraction causes it to lift up. No, refraction is actually a reflection, okay? And it's a reflection that's being cut off by its own reflection on a curved, wavy mirror, okay? Now, watch this boat as it turns into me again. I showed you one leaving away. Now, I'm going to show you this one coming back in. As it comes back in, there's the bow of the boat. You can see the guy sitting on it, and he's hauling ass. Now, actually, I do follow this one all the way in, and it's pretty cool. I like doing what I do. I don't do this for money. I don't monetize my channel, and nobody's paying me to frickin' go out and do my own observations. I started doing this to disprove flat earth, and now I became a flat earther because I see a lot that I was taught that was not true. And this is the things that we have to look at. Why have we been taught this? Is it intentional? I mean, look at this boat. This boat is throwing out a wake. He is hauling ass and just spitting the water out. Now, you can even see the mirroring of his wake. Look at his wake. His wake is even being mirrored off of that water. And another thing, too, when he passes by another boat or he goes by something, his wake will cover it up. His wake covers it up. So that tells you anything closer in this mirror area, a wave that you cannot see, can block out a boat way out there in the distance. All right, anything out there farther than this wake, or however big these waves may be, at the time, or swells, because you got swells out in the ocean. So if you're filming a big ship, what you're doing is you're getting the same effect. You're getting a big mirroring. And look at there. Look how that wake covers that boat up. I was waiting for that boat to show up. I knew it was there. I've watched this video 4 times now. And it takes you a while to wrap your head around what I'm trying to say and trying to show you. But I'm going to make it easy. Now, I know my last video probably wasn't the best video, but I really tried to show something with a little test, showing that the plane, you know, how a plane is, you know, you got to go up higher to see the full plane. So it's not that you're looking over a curve. If you go up higher, you're just getting a better angle of the plane. All right. Just think of a big, big, long board. And if you're, you know, 2 feet up off of that board, say a mile long, and then you try to see the end of it, you just can't, because it's too small to resolve. It's too fine. It's like trying to look at the edge of a razor blade at a mile away. You just cannot find it. You can't resolve it. Even though it could be standing right there up high, you cannot resolve it. Now, look at this boat. Now, he's going to come onto the visible water plane real soon here. All right. Now, you got to tell me that this is not, he is not being mirrored. You go ahead, Globehead. Tell me that I'm wrong on this. I mean, I'm sorry to tell you, but I've done so many observations, and it took me a long time to really wrap my head around it and figure this out. But this is mirror imaging, and mirror imaging, not on a perfect mirror. It's not on a perfect mirror. So if you lay down a perfect mirror on the ground and then try to get an angle on it, yeah, you probably will get some kind of a distortion, maybe even a little cut off, but you're not going to get the full effects that you would out here on the horizon, because it's not a smooth mirror. It's a rough, wavy mirror, an invisible mirror that you cannot see. All right, here's this bigger boat way out there, and I kind of bypass it, and I just kind of want to bebop around here, speed it up. I'm going to speed it up here a little bit. Show you these boats out here.
Same ones came back.
I want to go ahead and get up to my bird rack, my famous bird rack. Look at these boats. Now, for some reason, earlier that day, I was not resolving these boats as well, and even that bird rack was different. I started out, I think around 2, 3 o'clock, and this was a couple hours later, and the sun started to get blocked off by a lot of clouds, and this is why I think I started seeing these boats, or resolving these boats better. I didn't have that light reflecting off of that water too, causing other issues, causing more issues with what I was trying to view. So again, you know, you're looking at a big, huge mirror out there, right out there on that edge. And where the sky meets the plane, it all gets compressed right there. How? Because of the mirroring effect. And again, I got a good way to show you. Just wait to the end of this video, and I think you might be surprised, because I got a little treat for you. And this treat, something that I thought about for a while, but I just, you know, I was just hesitant. I'm putting it together. But you know what? I said, hell with it. And you can even see that that boat went in front of that bird rack, not behind it. It went in front of it. And then you see there's these other people back even farther in their boat, but they're just sitting there. They're not moving. And because this boat is moving, it's up on plane. The boat that was beside the bird rack was not on plane. They were settled in the water. And certain boats are more buoyant than others. They'll float higher. Other boats will float lower to the water. I have a boat that kind of sits a little further in the water. When I shut it down, it sinks down a little bit. But when I'm up on plane, almost my whole boat's out of the water. I got very little of my boat in the water when my boat's out there on plane. On plane, by the way. It's a flats boat, by the way. It's almost like the airplane or the airboat, by the way, because they fly on top of the water, on the plane of the water. Okay? Look at these boats. I mean, I just can't believe that I was getting this resolved. I was able to resolve some of these boats at these distances that I was at. So again, you know, you have to be the judge, and if you see it, then you can automatically know that something's going on. That was a crab trap on the mirror out there. And even looky here, I slowed this down so you could have seen those waves that were coming in right there above those little markers. But then I want you to look way out in the distance and see that mirror. See the water reflecting, or the light reflecting off of that water from the sun. Okay, this was another good day for observation because that sunlight was being cut. It was being blocked out. So in the areas that I got less light, I was able to resolve the boats better. Now too, you can see as I zoom in here slowly, you can see the reflection of these clouds. That's where the sky meets the plane, and that's due to perspective. Now here I did a picture, and then I enhanced it just to give you a little longer look at it, and look at that reflection of the sky off the water. Look where the boat is. He's in the water. He's got a mirror image underneath him. So again, think about it. Think about it. You know I'm right. You can obviously see it right here. Now here comes the treat. All right, pay attention to detail. I'll put a link in the description of this video and the next video. But pay attention to that car in the background. I mean, you can pay attention to the kids or watch this twice, but pay attention to that car in the background. Look at the distortion being caused by this bent mirror, this curved mirror, this wavy funhouse mirror. Stretches things, chops things off, hides things. I mean, look at this kid's body in the yellow. I mean, his arms are there, but then you look up and he's all stretched out and his head's missing. And this is the same thing that's occurring out there on the water. All right. So you can see how even parts of the body's enlarged. It's stretched. So this mirror out there on the water can cause all kinds of distortions. People, wake up. Do I have to spell it out for you? Can you see it? Did I make it clear? Are you watching? Are you paying attention to detail?
Dum, 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 dum. Look at my feet. They are so huge. Giant 14 size. There. My feet, I'm like a giraffe.
Hello, I'm Bruce Shaney, and if you're wondering what happened to me, I'm playing around with the funhouse mirror. It's a lot of fun, actually. Let's take a closer look. Now this is what the piece looks like. It's a 4-foot tall acrylic mirror that's 18 inches wide, and it's supported in this wooden box. The frame of the box is going to allow for several adjustments. Now here's my first attempt at making this mirror. Originally I used glass, which was cheap and flexible, but it wasn't quite flexible enough, and when I stressed it just a little bit too much, it broke right across here. Now what's nice about using this acrylic mirror is that it's very flexible. I can bend it however I want to. I could change it into a concave mirror, I can make it into a convex mirror, or I can make it a combination concave, and convex. On closer inspection, we'll find several sets of holes that have been drilled into the sides of the frame. These holes are going to accommodate two sets of pegs that I have, either long pegs or short pegs, and these pegs fit into these holes very snugly and are held there by friction. On the back side of the mirror, I can use a combination of the long pegs and the short pegs to hold the mirror in place. But on the front side, I usually use just the short pegs because the long pegs would interfere with reflection. Now at the moment, I have it bent so that it's a concave shape at the top and a convex shaped mirror at the bottom. My students found this piece to be very entertaining. Now if I want to make this into a concave mirror, I need the top and the bottom of the mirror at the very front of the box. So I'm going to put this bar in the first position. I'd also do this for the bottom of the box. And then I'm simply going to push on the center of the mirror and hold it in place, and then put the short pegs so that it's supporting the mirror back as far as it can go. And there's my concave mirror. Now if I want to change this into a convex mirror, I need the bottom and the top of the mirror at the very back of the box. So I'm going to use the pegs to hold it there and put two up here at the top. There we go. And I'm simply going to push on the center of the mirror, and then I'm going to use one of the long bars to hold it in place. So there we have our convex mirror. We can even bend the mirror from side to side. Hello, I'm Bruce. Today I'm playing around with a Hello, I'm Bruce. Today I'm playing around with a funhouse mirror. Yes, they are a lot of fun. Let's take a closer look. I'm Bruce Shane. Today I'm playing around with a funhouse mirror. Yes, they are a lot of fun. There's some good science here, but let's just take a closer look.
All right, how about this? A little time lapse of the mirror. Your mirrored horizon. Now I'm not zoomed out all that far in this one. I got a couple of them here for you. You can see these boats coming in. Here's one zoomed way out. You can see boats way in the far background coming in. And here comes here. They're not mirages, people. These are boats on the water, just being mirrored off the mirroring plane. Do you see it? Have I helped you see the light? Have I helped you? I hope so, because I'm getting tired of doing this, and then I don't really get many views. I don't get many people pay much attention to what I show, but I've been doing a lot of observations, and I'll tell you, I see a lot of things out here in my observations that it's hard to put words to, but now I've actually kind of figured it out. Yeah, I gotta say that I'm not looking for fame, fortune, or any notoriety or nothing. I just want to find truth too, like all the other people. So I bring my observations out there for everybody to use, research, and utilize that. But hey, to each their own. I guess we all have our own ways, and I'm not crying about not getting many views. I'm a small fry out here, but let me tell you, I have done my share of observations to try to figure this out, and I really do think that I've contributed a lot with this video right here and solving this horizon issue. Now, is there other things above that mirroring that could be another issue? Yes, I think that there is. Does mine explain it 100%? No, but it does give you a good realization that there's something going on out there, and it is a lot of mirroring effect. Look at that. Look at all that mirroring. And even right here, you got mirroring in between this little rougher water, right out to the sun, and right there below it, you've got the water or the sun reflecting light off of the water even further out. So again, I hope I open people's eyes. I hope I give them something to research even more. These mirrors, convex to concave mirrors, they will add an illusion to what you're seeing, as far as things getting cut off at the bottom. That's your illusion. Boats being on the water, that's another illusion that you want to call them a mirage. And the reason why people want to call them a mirage is because that's what they were taught. So I can't blame them. When you're taught something, then you tend to believe it without second thought on it. And this is where we as a race, we as humanity should start really questioning what we've been taught, even our history. Our history could be a lot of lies mixed with truths, just like everything else. Lies mixed with truth, throw you off your path, throw you out of the areas. When you start researching it, kind of say, oh no, you got to go this way or you got to go that way, and you research other people's stuff. Sometimes it can be very confusing. Observations are pretty easy. You watch, you look, you observe, you pay attention to detail. Curious Life of a Flat Earther put out a video, 1 horizon plus 0 curvature equals flat Earth. Watch it. I'll put a link in the description right along with the two mirror videos, Funhouse of Mirrors. And, you know, I hope other people go out there and do some research, do some experiments with these bent mirrors. And I think that they're going to find that, you know, what I had said in the past too about the sun vanishes into its own reflection. Look at those mirrors. Tell me that it ain't possible that that's exactly what it's doing. Atmospheric lensing, definitely out there. Rob Shakiba, great job in showing that. You know, I see it in my videos, brother. I got a lot of videos of that bird rack out there throughout a year and a half, 2 years of videotaping it that shows it in all different ways. I mean, you got it big, short, squatty, long, skinny, stretched out, mirage-y looking, reflected looking. Other times you've got it sitting in the water perfectly, no reflection. So, you know, all of these things are playing a role in my observations, and all I'm trying to do is highlight them, bring them out, show them, try to get people to look at my observational videos. I've got some pretty cool stuff. The more I go back and I look at them, the more I see in them, which that's what we're supposed to do. Start paying attention to detail. Take a quarter of the screen, you know, just pay attention to that. Look at the other quarter of the screen, pay attention to that, and you know, so on and so forth. Watch your videos 3, 4, 5, 6 times. You see new stuff in them every time you watch them. So again, people, you know, I don't expect anybody to believe me. You go out and do your own observations, check things out, and see what you think. Again, I'm gonna zoom back out on this video and show you how even the sunlight, look how the light bleeds through all them clouds out there. You know, you zoom in, it dims out. You zoom back, it brightens up. And all the clouds seem to get eat up by that brightness of that light. So again, you know, when people tell me to disregard my own observations, call me a deceiver for, you know, saying that there's no clouds that are going behind the sun, that's because there's no clouds going behind the sun. It's an overexposure problem that these guys have. And I don't care who they are. They're not going to come on my channel and try to intimidate me and tell me I'm wrong, call me a satanic deceiver, and try to make my channel look like a total lie. I don't lie to people. I have no reason to lie to people. Matter of fact, you know, I keep saying this, that I always thought flat earth was a big joke until I went out there to disprove it. And I noticed that there was something definitely wrong in my observations. Otherwise, my first video would have been one debunking the flat earth, showing curvature. But I was seeing mirroring, and this is what I want to bring out. Now I've got 2 little or 3 little time lapses coming up I think were interesting. After this, y'all have a good night, and I hope I opened up some eyeballs on this, or even got some minds tweaking and wondering and thinking. That's the whole purpose of all my videos, get you thinking. Alright, y'all have a good night, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation.